Herzlich willkommen, liebe Sportsfreunde, zu einem neuen Video auf dem Halbgottschmiede-Kanal. Und ihr seht uns heute in sportlicher Umgebung, aber in vielleicht etwas weniger sportlichen Kontext als gewohnt. Ich habe hier nämlich niemand Geringeren als den Joakim.
Hey man.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Very good, thanks.
Von den mächtigen SABATON. 2016 haben sie ihren Last Stand gemacht. 2019 sind sie zurück mit The Great War. Und dieses Video an alle meine Freunde und Follower wird auf Englisch stattfinden. Also, wir reden jetzt Englisch und ich hoffe, ihr könnt folgen. Wenn nicht, übersetze ich zwischendurch. Wir schauen mal, wie der Flow funktioniert. Joakim, welcome. Thanks for having me. Thanks for talking about the Great War.
Well, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Please tell my followers who you are, what you do, for anyone who might not know.
My name is Freddie Mercury. I'm sorry. I'm Joakim from a Swedish heavy metal band called SABATON, and we've been doing this for 20 years now, and we're about to release our 9th studio album.
9th studio album in
20
years.
Yep.
You put in a lot of work.
Yes, we have been very busy. I made a calculation. I stopped counting after 1,000 shows, but we've probably in over 50 countries now. Actually.
50 countries, over 1,000 shows, and I was with them a couple of years ago. I was roadie on tour with Elevati and Wisdom for a couple of shows, and you guys were already back then. I think it was 2013 maybe, and you were already booking shows for 2017. I remember that.
Yeah, we're crazy. Yes.
And you guys had an infamous tour bus. Tell us about the tour bus.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a pretty funny story.
Yeah, we bought a tour bus back in those days. I mean, as any band, it's really a tough place to be in when you're starting out, because, you know, being a small band, it's possible, but then as you're trying to grow, there's a kind of a vacuum in between there in the middle. So to solve that, we bought a really old tour bus. And that tour bus kept breaking down a lot. So, but we never missed a show, if I'm honest. So we're really proud of that. But let's just say we had a big screwdriver that we called the ignition key. Because I remember, I think this was a Grass Pop Festival going, and nobody wanted to do this because you'd have something was wrong with the electricity, so we'd have to short circuit the starting engine. So you'd go in under the bus, just under the engine, and basically short circuit, and there would be sparks flying, and then the bus would start.
Oh fuck!
So yeah, rock and roll touring, all the glamour you want.
Yeah, that's really funny, because yeah, people sometimes imagine rock and roll and metal being glamorous, but I can tell you from my own experience that there's no place on earth that's less sexy than a tour bus.
Yep.
Being with 20 or however many people sweating, drinking.
Yeah. Sexy is not what comes to mind, no.
No, absolutely not. So please get your groupies out of the bus.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, you bought the bus, mm-hmm. and you invested a lot of time to make it into your rolling hotel, basically. You told me you still got it outside your rehearsal room? Yeah, we still have it these days. I mean, the engine doesn't work very well anymore, but we still have it. I mean, we don't want to, I mean, even if it was a lot of trouble, we still really personally attached to that bus. Because, I mean, we bought it, we had a company help us turn it into a nightliner, but we built the interior ourselves. You know, just a couple of weeks before we went on the first tour we did in 2007 in April or May, and I remember, you know, we were working up until midnight every day, and then we'd be back on the bus at, you know, 7 or 8 in the morning, and fixing the kitchen, building the tables, making curtains for the bunks, you know, everything you could imagine, putting carpets in. So I mean, having that bus with us for so many years, I mean, you kind of get attached to it. You know? Obviously, yeah.
So we don't want to get rid of it.
I think that's part of your really impressive and amazing story. And you guys know, I don't usually just sit on my channel and make promotion for bands other than my own band. But these guys really impressed me. The first time I met them was on that tour I just talked about a little bit, and Joakim was sitting backstage writing new music, and I was like, wow, these guys are a band. This is what I imagine being like rock and roll, you know, not slacking off, being lazy, coming out of the tour bus 16 o'clock, but no, sitting backstage, having lunch, making new music, and that fucking impressed me because you delivered every night. So I don't want to be like all up your ass, sorry, but it impressed me. And
no, thank you. I'm happy because we're pretty proud of it. You know, people asked us if we were ever going to do a book, and it's like, yeah, people expect sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but for us, there has been some sex, yes, but not to extreme circumstances. But there hasn't been any drugs, and there's been a lot of rock and roll. So I don't think a Sabaton book would be, you know, it wouldn't be like The Dirt book by Mötley Crüe. You know, it wouldn't be the crazy stories.
I guess for bands that came after this, let's call it the golden age of rock and roll, there's a lot of hard work, a lot of 16-hour days. I mean, like the working part of the day. I'm not talking 16 hours and then 8 hours sleep. That would be a dream.
Yeah, exactly.
You work 8 hours before the show and then 8 hours after the show, and then you get a beer and some sleep, hopefully.
Yeah.
Usually. Yeah. So the Great War is upon us. No, it has been. So, but you guys made an album about that.
Yeah.
11 songs.
Yes.
And so you took very different parts of the First World War or the Great War. So, so tell us a little bit about that. What were your inspirations, or what stories did you want to tell?
Oh, we always let the sort of the music choose the stories. I mean, we obviously, going into every album, we have an idea of the stories we want to tell. So we do way more research than we actually have room for on the album. Sometimes it turns out to be a concept album like Carolus Rex, where we follow everything chronologically happening. But on the Great War, this is more like a collection of stories and events that happened during this conflict. And it's a tricky thing because, you know, every time there are these pet projects, these amazing stories that we really want to tell, but we don't have the music for it. I mean, we try, but we can't force, you know, the music and the story to speak the same emotional language. It's really important for us that they are really connected. So, I mean, going into this album, for example, I was 100% sure that we would cover stuff like the Brusilov Offensive or the Harlem Hellfighters, for example. I mean, can you have a more heavy metal track name than Harlem Hellfighters? I mean,
it's gonna be tough.
So we thought we'd have that, but no, we just couldn't get those stories in. So there's always, it feels like you're leaving some of those important events behind. On the other hand, you always, you know, have to, well, adapt to the situation, you know. And if you don't have the material or the story, then you find it, because such a important and, you know, large encompassing conflict as the Great War, it's not like it's hard to find material. It's the problem becomes
it's
choosing what not to put on there. You know.
So you talked about, I think the first track already is about the kind of inventiveness of war times, because one of the big inventions of the First World War was obviously the tank.
Yes.
And you covered that, which is a very interesting topic, I think. The future of warfare. I'm sorry if you didn't get the title correct. So, what song is for you? Like right now, you're in the promotion process. Obviously, you stand behind every track of the album. But what stands out for yourself? Like, is one or two tracks you usually do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably the worst person on the planet to talk about the album, because I've been there from, you know, not being the only songwriter at all, I'm not saying that, but I'm sort of the musical director. So everything regarding the songwriting, into the production, pre-productions, mixing. So I already hate this album. But that's normal, you know.
You heard it, you listened to it to death.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it.
But to be honest though, there is a few that stands out. I really like the second track, 7 Pillars of Wisdom. It's just a driving.
What's it about?
It's about Lawrence of Arabia, for those who, I guess most people would know him as Lawrence of Arabia. People who are more into history would know that the 7 Pillars of Wisdom, that's the name of his book that he wrote. So a bit of a bit of hints here and there going on in our naming of track titles and songs.
Very old school movie fans. That's obviously a pretty famous movie.
Yeah, it is, and kind of a cool movie as well. I gotta say though, don't read the book. I did. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. Man, he might have been a legend, but his writing is, oh, come on.
Right.
But, oh, sorry, back to the music. I really love that song. I wrote it with Chris, the guitar player, and I think it's the best guitar and drum work Sabaton has ever had. It's so snappy and tight, and the track doesn't have, you know, sometimes you have a lot of, we have a lot of orchestral stuff, choirs, which I love as well, but this one is sort of boiled down to just Sabaton, no choirs, orchestras or anything. This is the band, and it's just great guitar work and great melodies, and I'm really proud of that.
All right, all right. I had the chance to listen to a couple of the songs just before the interview, and what would you say about the production in your words? As you said, you listened to it to death, but are you satisfied? Is everything in its place? Is there, usually after a couple of weeks, it starts to kick in like, we could have used a little bit more of that.
Oh yes.
So,
well, that's absolutely true. I mean, in general, I'm really happy with the production. The sound is a bit, we have a little bit more guitars than we'd had in the last couple of years, I think. And it's a bit punchier and bigger production. I really liked it. But as you said, you know, it never stops. You always want to tweak stuff. I can listen to stuff we did 10 years ago. It's like, oh, why didn't we do that? So I say we never finish an album. You just choose a certain point to abandon.
Yeah. I see. That's absolutely true. I always make that true joke that I say when we have our guitarist and Zeb Levermann from Ordenhogen, he produced our last two records, and if you put those guys into a room and come back 2 years after, they will say, we almost got it. We almost got it. Yeah. Guitar sound 8,645. We're almost there.
Next version.
Next version. But yeah, I can imagine. For me, actually, I like your big, pompous sound. I personally could always use more guitar. For me, it's all about the guitar, but it sounds cool, and I'm gonna listen to it in more depth afterwards. So you have one song that really sticks out because it's not really metal. Yeah. What's that one?
The last track, In Flanders Fields. Most people would be familiar, I guess, with that poem. I think it's one of the most famous military poems written. And it was actually me and Per, the bass player, we talked about doing something with it, and there's been other bands doing that poem musically, but we couldn't see us doing a cover of anything because it wouldn't suit the album at all. And it was started as a composition with, you know, church organ, orchestra, huge everything. And I mean, as you said, Sabaton is not a less is more band. It's, you know, put everything in there, get it as big as possible.
More is more.
Yes, more is always more. I agree. Good man, this one. He understands the shit. And but this time, the only time I think, the more we removed, the better it became. Cool. And the weird part is when we took it all away, Sabaton was not left. So it's only a choir, nothing else. So a Sabaton song without Sabaton. First time ever.
And shout outs to the amazing people working on that, because the connections are kind of funny. You want to tell about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It's the female choirs consist of Daniel Mullback, the original drummer's mom and his aunt, our bass player's science teacher, my old swimming coach, and a friend of theirs from their choir. They're all in different choirs, though, or have been, but it's like they've been with us since Primo Victoria, I think, singing on the albums.
Oh, right.
And
that's been a while.
Yeah, and I just love the sound of their voices. It sounds so good together.
Let's turn a little bit over here, because you just talked about your swimming coach. Did you used to swim competitively, or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously not to super high standards, but at least to a level where I was in the Swedish Youth Championship and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Made it to the finals, and I think my biggest disappointments was 200 meters butterfly, and I came in like 4th. It's bullshit.
4th place, we call it the wooden medal.
Yeah, exactly.
It hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts, but it happens.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't decide what's worse, 2nd or 4th.
Yeah.
Both in
Second is
right.
the first loser, isn't it?
Yeah. 3rd is like, oh yeah, I made it to the podium.
Yeah, that's better.
That's like the best you can be in the top 3. Yeah. At first, obviously. Yeah,
yeah, but I agree. Yeah. 3rd is better than 2nd.
Okay, cool. So, are you guys trying to stay in shape on tour? I mean, I know it's hard. Tour life, we just pointed it out. 16 hours work days. That's the norm. Let's be honest. People imagine rock and roll. I've talked about that at length, but probably not on my YouTube channel. It's like it's hard.
Yeah.
So, is there anything you try to do, like a routine you stick to, or?
It's hard to get routines. That's a tricky thing, because that's the way you get things done. But with different times, flying, shows, and interviews, you have to kind of be really disciplined and get something in there. For me, one solution could be getting up 1.5 hours earlier to be able to at least get something done in the hotel gym if we're in a hotel. If we're in a venue, it's easier. Regularly on tour now we have a guy called Pablo from Germany following us, and a bit of physiotherapy and also personal trainer, I guess.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, it's a luxury, to have such knowledge. Also being able to help anyone in the band, but also in the crew with anything if something went wrong, lifting or whatever.
So what we are going to do today, after we finish talking, we're going to do just a couple of little fun things, so you can help the crew.
Oh yeah.
And be better at loading. And
trust me, I've done my fair share of loading.
Yeah, I guess.
It wasn't many years ago. I was sitting in the tour bus at 3 a.m. trying to do the Tetris, getting everything in there.
And get pumped up before the show.
Yeah.
So you look your best. To get back to the show side, to the live side, you're gonna tour starting with Wacken Festival?
Yeah, I mean that will be the end of the festival summer and the start of the touring season, I guess. Yeah.
So for you, the release date is the 19th of July. We didn't say that, so 19th of July. Just a couple of weeks before Wacken. What is it? 1 week, 2 weeks? I'm not sure about the date.
2 weeks or something like that.
Oh, okay. So a great kickoff, great start. A huge festival. Obviously, everybody knows Wacken, I guess, even my non-metal followers nowadays. And where are you going to tour? First, Europe, Northern America. Where it's going to be?
We start off with a festival summer now, and then which is going to be Europe almost exclusively. Then we head off to America, North America, with Hammerfall, which is going to be really nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, Swedish invasion of America. They need more of that. We're going to build a few IKEAs as well. And then we have announced a Russian tour, also early next year, which is coming up. But there will be stuff in between. However, for some strange reason, festival promoters, well, not so strange really, don't like us to talk about other plans we have regarding a country that they have their festival in. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's all right. It's all right. Just to know that there will be a lot of SABATON around, so people will have the chance to see you guys live with the new album.
We'll do our best to make sure you don't miss us, and we'll do our best to make sure you're tired of us before this is over.
We talked a little bit about show attendance, and let's start from worst, because I think it's funny, because that's something that's like the fire every band has to walk through. So what was your worst attendance?
This was in Poitiers in France, 2007. We'd sent the posters and all the promotional material to the promoter, but he kind of just took them and went to Thailand on vacation. and he didn't.
This is like the dream, you know. And this isn't something exclusive to small bands. Those guys were around for a couple of years. It's not like this was their first show ever.
No. I mean, sorry. No, it's true.
I think it's
we
just
had
fun.
some shows on that tour. There was like 1,000 people, and then it's like 5. Really, it turns out he came back. He came back like 5 days before, 2 days before the show, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got to put those posters."
Oh damn, SABATON are playing.
Yeah. So, but on the other hand, we can honestly say we that night gave everyone in the audience as much alcohol as they wanted. Not many bands can claim that. They got everyone in the hall drunk.
All 5 of them. Yeah, this is just crazy. We had the same experiences, obviously, as didn't have the high end of you guys, but the low end was kind of similar. So, but usually you play nowadays in front of 5,000 people plus.
Yeah, in Europe at least. Smaller in America. We started touring there later. So, but that's a nice thing, I think, because you never know what to expect, and you never get complacent. It's not always the same. You could end up in. The last show we did in Czech Republic just a few weeks ago was over 12,000. So,
yeah, wow.
Amazing vibe and feeling. But then the next day you could be in a part of the world you haven't visited before, and we did. Yeah, we've done everything from, I mean, you know, 5 people to 12,500 as headliner. You can't say. Some of my favorite shows have been in clubs in front of, you know, 1,500 people. It's like.
Yeah, the energy, just getting so close to the crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
All I can say is, you guys worked for it. More power to you. You've been busy for the past 20 years already, which is crazy. More than half of your life.
Yep.
And still going strong and stronger. So it's not like anything was given to you on a silver plate.
No. But still, you have to be a bit humble and realize that there's 3 points to success, and I think in most cases, and that is some kind of talent achieved in one way through hard work in many cases, but then the grind, the really putting the effort in. And those are 2. I guess there are 1/3 each. But what people sometimes forget is you need a 1/3 of luck as well.
A little bit.
Yes.
Being in the right place at the right time sometimes.
And I mean, working really hard puts you in the right place. More
situations where you could be in the right place.
Where you can be lucky.
Yeah, definitely. But you guys, as I told you, first time I met you, you were musicians. You were making music. You were making the crowd happy, and you were always coming across as humble guys. Just down to earth, which is something I really appreciate, and it makes working with you, listening to your stuff, and getting to know you a little bit better pleasure and an honor. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And I guess we're going to talk about more stuff, but let's get you changed.
All right.
And then we see what we can do for you to look the best on stage.
No, I'm worried. This guy's gonna take care of me.
Just a little bit. I'm not gonna go into too much like nutrition advice or whatever. I mean, I know how it is on tour. You get the catering, and you're happy when it's not just pizza. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. We all love pizza.
Yes.
But touring 70 shows and getting pizza every night, not so much.
All right. So let's do this. I think I'm fucked.
Okay, let's go. This is a very fabled place because this is where we did the Strength Wars finals.
Oh, cool.
Those are the platforms. And yeah. So we're gonna do just a couple of things you can do on tour where you don't need any form of huge equipment, any stuff, because I think this is very important. You don't want to carry a lot of stuff around.
Yeah.
When we went on tour last time, I had some dumbbells that you can stack together, which was really convenient. But you're a musician, I'm more athlete than musician, so...
Well, for me, I always use 2 12 kilos kettlebells if we are on a tour bus run. Because I think it's pretty versatile, and with that weight I can, for most exercises, use the 12 if it gets too easy, instead of, you know, rotating it in or out. You can keep it stable. And if you really want to go heavy, you have 2, so it's 24 kilos.
This guy already knows what he's talking about, so awesome. Yeah, we're going to go far easier.
Oh, thank God.
We have 2 bands.
All right.
You can do almost everything with 2 bands. So obviously what you're gonna want to do before the show, but you can also use your kettlebells, obviously. You can just pump up your bicep because big arms look better.
Yes.
And you're wearing a vest, aren't you? So
yes.
I always...
Well, let's call it a corset for what it is.
So I always tell people, sleeveless is a privilege, not a right. So yeah, just very basic, step on it, squeeze at the top, and get a little bit of blood flowing in the bicep. Obviously this is a pretty light one, and you're a little bit smaller, so it's even easier for you.
Yeah, and it's short, so it's not gonna be a...
He looks so much bigger on stage, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yes, it's because you're fucking huge, man.
Thank you so much. That, you know what a man wants to hear? Yes, perfect.
Yeah, I should have had a... actually hold it.
Yeah, you can, obviously.
That's the advantage of doing bands, that you can adjust it.
And they take up no space, so you can carry
no weight.
Yeah.
Half of the time you're going with carry-on only, you know?
Yeah. So, next Sabaton album is going to be about muscles. It's going to be more of Man-O-War.
The great bicep war.
The great biceps. The great pump. Awesome. Just give me 12 reps, so like 6 more. Yeah, look at that. Already growing.
Yes.
1 centimeter.
2 centimeters. 3 centimeters. 4 centimeters.
Now we're getting in ridiculous ranges. Come on. Don't talk about your dick. 25 centimeters. So, what is a Sabaton? I think some people don't know it.
Yeah, it's a piece of military equipment from the Middle Ages. It's the knight's, what do you call it? The armor that protects your foot. Right here. If you have a scale armor where they overlap each other, it's a Sabaton.
That's a Sabaton.
Also used by woodcutters these days.
Yeah.
For protection.
For protection, so that you don't hack into your foot. Yeah. So now you know what a Sabaton actually is. Why would you name your band Sabaton then?
Well, we like military history, obviously, you know, but Swedish joke actually. It's like somebody metal kick in the butt.
Well, I didn't
Spark i röven, we say in Swedish, so it's a traditional saying.
Oh, you get a kick with your Sabaton?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, first set done.
Yep.
Second exercise, you're gonna put the band behind your back.
Okay.
We're gonna do like a chest fly.
Oh, okay.
To pump up the chest, because on stage you wanna have your chest sticking out and a big arm, and then you're already almost set up. So just like this. Try to keep your shoulders a little bit to the back.
Yeah.
And then squeeze in front. Also very easy exercise. You can do this before doing push-ups, because push-ups are actually a little bit of a harder exercise to get blood flowing into your chest. Push-ups utilize like 60 to 70% of your body weight. And yeah, doing like 20, 25. I guess you can do it easily, but for some people it's quite a challenge, and it's not a warm-up exercise.
No.
But this is great to warm up.
I was thinking though, the thing with bands, like what you're doing now, keep staying in form and keeping it straight is usually the challenge. Because I'm not obviously as used to working out as you are.
So that's why we do this, so you can, on the next tour, have your kettlebells plus some bands, your physiotherapist. Yeah, get a little bit lower. Yeah, great.
And then
try to stick your chest out.
Chest out and back.
Yeah. And just squeeze them. Good. Yeah. You can see there's a little bit of strain already there.
Yeah.
Good. Try to keep your shoulders a little bit more down.
Down shoulders.
Yes,
okay.
Like this. Good.
And that's the thing about the form, is that it's hard to keep it. It's natural to want your shoulders to get up as you're straining.
Try to imagine like a walnut, vollnut.
Yeah, walnut in Swedish.
Yes, right here. And squeeze them together, yeah. Because I will show you something a little workout secret in a minute.
Okay.
Because what people tend to do when they want to work their chest, they just stick their arm out. Do that. Stick your arm out. You have all the pressure here, but your chest is loose. Yep. You know, get your shoulders back, far back, far back, far back, and try to get your arm up front. Shoulder down, shoulder down, shoulder back. Yeah, it's hard to do. It's hard to do. But now you can already see. Now it's starting to have some.
Yeah, that's really important that you're keeping it close to your body then.
Yes, but you have to keep the shoulder back and then get the arm in front, and you see your chest starts to move, and it's not all the tension on your shoulder, but also on your chest. So this is why this movement works like this. Oh. Yeah. So do a couple of more reps. We want to get the chest really pumped up. Yes. Really try to squeeze those shoulders down and chest up. Think of a proud chest, like you would. Yes. Squeeze in the front. Yes, now you got tension on those pecs. Awesome. Yeah, just two more.
Yeah,
well done, Joakim. Yes, very good. Awesome.
Staying in form is taking as much effort as doing the exercise itself.
Okay, relax. Take some time off. Nice. Very good, very good. But yeah, this is obviously neurological. When you're neurologically, when you're not used to the exercise, it takes a lot of strain just to focus on, as you said, the form. It's not so much the power, not so much the effort, but you get used to it.
Yeah.
Do it a couple of times, and it will change your posture and make you look even bigger on stage. Yeah. Singing about soldiers and warfare. Yeah. So.
I mean, I get almost a gig vibe already now when we talk.
But yeah, we get you all hyped up, and then you can sing for us.
Oh. Yeah. Maybe I'll sing you something from the new album you haven't heard before.
Ooh. I guess that would be a treat. So for the next one, we're going to go straight into the third exercise. We're going to use a little bit of a heavier band because pull-ups are a heavy exercise. So we're going to do some assisted pull-ups.
Okay.
Because it widens your back, makes you even bigger. Because your back makes you look big. And then we have a lot of the important parts, but no legs. Is a metal singer a leg day skipper? We will see. No, we have something to kill his legs also.
That's good.
He will be so looking forward to the next promo. Coming in like, oh yeah, we had this guy in Germany. Okay, this might be too high. Let's go for the lower one. So we don't have to jump crazy.
Yeah, let's see how this works. I got a here.
Oh, right.
So, we'll try.
Good to know. Okay. Basically, the same thing applies for the pull-ups than for the chest. You want to get your shoulders back. First thing you do when you hang, you get to the higher thing. You hang and just tuck your shoulders in.
Yeah.
Shoulders. Oh, my shoulder injury is still showing. I'm putting more through the right. Ja, Leute, ihr wisst, Schulter ist immer noch ein bisschen verletzt. Ausrede natürlich, ja. Außerdem bin ich schwer. So, when you're 140 kilo, pull-ups are.
Oh yeah, I know.
Almost same body weight.
I'm 40 kilos less and fatter than you, so don't worry.
Ah, not really. Come on. Just get your knee in.
Knee? Yep.
Yes. Like this. Don't go too wide.
No.
Yeah, this, and just try to get the chin above the bar. Yes. 1. Awesome. 2. Give me 5. 3. Awesome. 4. Good. Control. 5. Good. Great. Rest. Awesome. Very good.
Thanks.
Very good.
I used to be in better shape, and I went to 7 unassisted. But shoulder injury.
All right. So, but the only thing that usually helps is building muscle.
Yeah.
To protect it.
That's what I did. I realized it's I got to get back in the game, so I did, and it's It's nice actually, but just that exercise unassisted is still too far away from me.
Yeah, but that's why we do this. Take 2 bands and you have almost everything you need. Even with your kettlebells, obviously you can use them as well. Yeah. And this is stuff I love to do when I'm on the road.
It's brilliant for people who are traveling who aren't in the metal band. I mean, it's for anyone.
Yeah, for anyone. Actually, this is your home workout. There's no excuses for not doing anything. Yeah, now you can be like, oh, but I have no bar where I can put a band. Yeah. Come on. On the last tour, we brought pull-up bar. You can put it to doors.
Oh yeah.
We had this, the dumbbells. Couple of bands. That was
TRX trainer as well. We've used a couple of times.
Oh yeah, there's sling trainer.
Sling trainer. Yeah. You can lock them in the hotel room door.
Obviously, Joakim, you're the front man, the face of the band, the singer. So you have to be the beast of burden. So the beast of burden is carrying the yoke. The yoke is over here. You have to adjust the height a little bit. So you step under it, pick it up. Walk it over here. Okay. Obviously, the band needs more gear.
Yes.
And you're the only one sober, so you get the keg and get it over here.
All right. So
we're working your legs, I told you. And of course, you have to be fast.
All right. Under here.
All right.
Weight on shoulders or
a little bit lower because you don't want to have it on your 7th.
Yeah. About there.
But get both feet under the weight before you stand up. Stand up and come on.
I thought this would
run
be heavy.
Run it. Come on, guys. Hoppa. Careful. All right, too easy. Get the can. I got the fucking air. All right, see you here. Awesome job. SABATON is getting drunk tonight. Joakim, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, man.
Oh, it was great fun. So, give a thumbs up if you want to see him in great shape on the Great War Tour. You got a couple of months to go.
I do.
So 10 kilogram more muscle.
Yes, and 10 more kegs of beer.
A keg every night. This was our little small workout, our little interview. Check out the new SABATON album. Check out their history channel on YouTube, where they talk about different topics they also cover in their songs. Little bit of a disclaimer, last but not least, these guys do not promote warfare, they don't engage in any political views. It's about telling history, about getting you interested into history, educating, and help you to educate yourself.
Yep.
Or anything you want to add? Sorry, I don't want to. This is your message.
Thank you, that was perfectly said. I mean, we don't do religious or political propaganda. We just want to tell stories and about the great sacrifices being made. So,
yeah. Lots of shit went down, and we should know about it, so we can only prevent it when we have the knowledge. So educate yourself, click the links in the description, help me to help you look better by wearing awesome t-shirts and buying great supplements using the code DRAGONSLAYER. And as I said, work out to and with SABATON, and see you at the tour. Joakim, thank you so much once more. See you at the next video on the channel. Thank you.